Hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. My internet was down before. Moving right along. That problem has been solved. Okay. Dusk Maiden of Amnesia, episode 11. Wow, we're almost finished with this shit. Okay. This one was a doozy. This was a real doozy. Next week's the final episode. This show was great. This was a great show, I have to say. Probably one of the best. I don't even know what you call this show. I mean, I'm going to go with Sojo, Slice of Life, Supernatural, and Horror. Supernatural and Horror. So those are the genres I think I would call this. But anyway, moving right along. Episode 11. This one was called Maiden of Tears. I'll have to look up the episode name specifically. But anyway, moving right along. TEIICHI, we see the room he was in, the whole past that he's now known. He sees YUKO again. YUKO wakes him up, everything. And at first, he tries to touch. He's saying, was I here the whole time? Didn't Shadow YUKO attack us? And YUKO-san says no. So she didn't see Shadow YUKO. And he's thinking, oh, she's lost her memories again. No, that's not what happens. So he tries to touch her. She's scared out of her mind and tries to leave away from there. And then she doesn't see him. She can't see him. And he doesn't know why. And it's like bugging the hell out of him. So what ends on happening is next day after this scene, he goes to school. And she says, oh, TEIICHI-kun isn't here yet. She can't see him. Moving right forward, he has a conversation with Kyrie. I believe it's on the roof. He has many conversations with Kyrie in this episode. Like about 3 different ones. But one, she's explaining to him that the reason why is that you've seen YUKO's past. And that's why. So basically what has transpired is the memories, the past that he's seen has been put onto him. So he's actually become Shadow YUKO. Pretty interesting shit going on here. But basically, he has, and that's what she tells her. He tells her that. And later on, fast forward after that, he's basically going to school, he's in the classroom, and still she can't see him. So it's like it's as if he's become the ghost. Track forward, we go to a scene then with he's talking to Kyrie again in this church with a bell, and very unbelievable scene with Kyrie. I gotta take her off of my oh she's a bitch list because she cries. Literally, it's no joke. She cries, and she's like, "No, don't." She's like, "Are you gonna give up now?" And he's saying as if, "Oh, seeing as how I become the negative," and she goes completely nuts on him, saying, "Don't do that," And she was saying as if, I think she was jealous. That's what it was. Kyrie was saying that, "Oh, it was very difficult for me to see you with her and everything, but it's even more difficult for me, a real pain, to see you giving up and her giving up." And she's crying her eyes out, and she just storms out. So obviously she had strong feelings for TEIICHI, and it was like, holy shit. Moving right along, we get a scene with him and Nogioki son? I forgot. I can't say her name correctly. It's really hard to say. Let me go and find it. Just to be safe. Just to be safe. Okay. Just to be safe, because I don't really say her name correctly. Her name, that's right. Oh, that's right. Okanogi. Well, basically, Okanogi, she's having lunch with him, and Yuko's right there, and TEIICHI knows, and she knows, but they can't communicate with each other. Because if he touches her, she goes completely nuts. Then there's a scene also in this episode where he's in the hallway, and she's in the hallway, and he touches her, and she freaks out and leaves. That's when they decide to communicate through a notebook. So basically, from this notebook, they're writing down a few things, things to each other. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Until then, Kirei decides to show TEIICHI his grandmother. His grandmother is headed to school. So he meets Yuko's sister, who is Kirei's grandmother. And showing her the photos of Asa-chan and everything, and that actually what happened was he got the idea of seeing her from Okanogi. She was talking. He was eating the candy that he ate while as Yuko during the memory thing from last episode. So that's when he gets the idea to see her and see, the photos and everything. After that scene, he goes to the club room to see Yuko-san again. But this time, he does something. He starts destroying stuff in the room. It was unbelievable. It's like bang, bang, bang. Destroying the doll, the windows, everything. Everything that she had a connection to. Until he rips up the book that I guess they were writing each other to. And that's when she snaps out of it and she can see TEIICHI again. That's when it's basically the meeting of the minds. That's when the Shadow Yuko-san shows up again. But this time TEIICHI is prepared for it. And there's basically a conversation between him and the two Yuko-sans and saying that he's felt her pain. He's felt her pain. He's experienced her pain. And basically, he's telling her, I know what it was like. And he's crying. And then Shadow Yuko-san's basically saying, don't cry, don't cry. Basically, that he's willing to accept both Yuko-sans. He loves both Yuko-sans. And basically, that's when they sort of come together as one. Pretty much. And that's where pretty much this wraps up. And they come together and they lock away. And she goes to being one person again. And she locks away her memories, good and bad, in her heart. And that's pretty much what happened. And there's a scene where he's got a bell around the bell. Remember the bell that she had around and she gave her sister, I believe. He's got it around his arm, wrist, and she has it around hers. And then that's when, after she's both packed together and everything and all that other jazz, they go to the cursed stone. And they explain, he's telling Yuko-san that the names on the stone were the names of the people who attacked her and killed her, sacrificed her. That was the whole bit. And then he shows pictures of Asa-chan, and that's when we get a big, huge bomb drop. A huge, big fucking bomb drops. He tells Yuko-san that his grandmother is Asa-chan. It's like a big bomb. And she's like so happy because now she realizes that she was fated to be with TEIICHI. And she hugs him and everything. And then they walk away from the stone and everything. And she's really happy to be with him again. And there's a scene where she drops the bell on the ground and tries to pick it up and has some difficulty picking it up. But she's able to pick it up. And then they leave. Coming down the hill of this walkway. And that's pretty much what happened. Now, this one was about tears of something. Let me just check. Let me see if I can get the actual episode title. Title of this one was called Bitter Tears Maiden. Bitter Tears Maiden. So, pretty much that was the episode title. I'm going to give this 4.5 out of 5. Almost 5. But I need to see more for next week's final episode. The final episode. So, this is really the nitty-gritty, what have you thing of this show. And we'll see what happens. Thoughts on it, I think it was pretty good. I actually thought this was really well done. Sort of like he really felt. You really got the idea that TEIICHI really felt the pain and the suffering that YUKO-san went through, and he was able to say that he loved both sides of it, and that's how he was able to bring her back. And I really think that was really interesting kind of scenario. And we got to see, the big things I think in this episode. Before I close this up, I just want to mention this. The big things in this episode probably were Kyrie and the fact that he's the grandson of Asa-chan. That blew me away. Those two things. So Kyrie obviously had feelings for TEIICHI. That was the whole bit. And obviously the other thing would be the thing with Asa-chan. So yeah, that was a very good episode. Very well done. Guys, gotta check this show out. You don't know what the fuck you're missing. You guys don't know. This is a great show. Check it out. Alright? Bitches? But anyway, this has been Bonkai922. I will catch you guys later. Oh, and subscribe. And put it in comments what you thought of this episode too. Subscribe to this channel. And subscribe to my other channels. You know the ones I'm talking about. See you guys later.